Hey everyone, this is Nakshan, and welcome to the Hoard, where we try to put complicated ideas in a nutshell. The work of Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung has stayed relevant and fresh for many years longer than his contemporaries, even those who were considered more conventional and acceptable to the professional therapeutic community. I think there are a few reasons for this. First, his analytical psychology has helped countless people discover their places within historical and cultural contexts, and then translate this understanding into healthier, more meaningful lives. Second, Jung's ability to access both ancient and contemporary source materials in their original languages allowed him to build a solid theoretical foundation for his ideas. Third, and probably most importantly, he created his work through the exploration of the most important source material of all, himself. Jung's Red Book recorded and illustrated his self-exploration at a time of great psychological upheaval in his life. He started the process in 1913, concluded the initial sessions in 1916, but then continued to edit and add commentary to the Red Book into the 1930s. The text, which was finally published in 2009, is filled with Jung's intensely beautiful illustrations and musings released through this self-experiment. Ultimately, these insights became the framework for his practice. The best place to learn this framework is to study the corpus of Jung's works. He was a lucid writer and logically laid out his ideas in compelling and persuasive language. He spent an incredible amount of time and care on them and was loath to distill his ideas into sound bites for the casually curious, insisting instead they read the books because it's all in there. I encourage everyone to read Jung. Interestingly, the best place to start may be his collaboration with Aniela Jaffe entitled Memories, Dreams, Reflections. It's a mature and extremely interesting biography filled with a history of his life and an exposition of his ideas. But in this episode, I want to explore how Jung conducted his original self-experiment, a process he called mythopoetic imagination and what I'm going to call conscious dreaming, and how anyone can use this approach to achieve psychological benefit. Jung explained the process of conscious dreaming in surprising detail during a seminar conducted in 1925. If you're interested, you'll find the notes from the seminar in a book edited by William McGuire entitled Analytical Psychology. I'm going to quote pieces of Jung's lengthy explanation because they provide a nicely detailed description of the process. He stated, "Now, at this time, inasmuch as I was actively thinking, I had to find some way to reserve myself, so to speak, and to pick up the passive side of my mental life. What I did then in order to get at this inferior unconscious side of me was to make at night an exact reversal of the mental machinery I had used in the day. That is to say, I turned all my libido within in order to observe the dreams that were going on. It has been said by Leon Daudet that dreams do not only appear in sleep, but having a life of their own, they continue also during the daytime below the level of consciousness. In this way, the dreams can be caught and the performances of the unconscious observed. But it cannot be done by just lying down on a couch and relaxing. It has to be done by a definite giving over of the libido in full sum to the unconsciousness. I trained myself to do this. I gave all my libido to the unconscious in order to make it work, and in this way I gave the unconscious a chance, the material came to light, and I was able to catch it in flagrante." To Jung, the libido is pure psychic energy that expresses desire, will, interest, and passion. It's the energy that drives us through our conscious lives filled with family, work, and other pursuits. To turn it inward means approaching the unconscious with the same intention and intensity as we would the outside world, and to completely believe the validity and importance of what's to be found there. So, reverse the mental machinery is the first step in conscious dreaming. The second step is capture the released images through activities like writing, drawing, painting, dance, and song. The third step is identify and examine the archetypes using your own criteria, meaning if an image or motif is seen as profound with multiple personal and universal applications, then it is an archetype to you. The final step is integrate the archetypes into your essential self. This is done by meditating on the archetypes, strategizing how to integrate aspects of the archetypes into your life, and then practice living with them. Perhaps the best way to make this process clear is to demonstrate an exercise I've used in past workshops, and then discuss the reaction of one particular member as a case study. Obviously, you don't need to do this exercise if it makes you uncomfortable. You can simply watch without participating, end the video now, or fast forward to the end. But if you do participate, here's what you'll want to do. First, find a comfortable position that allows your body to relax. Next, take a deep breath and hold it for a moment before exhaling completely. Now do that a second time, and then a third. Loosen your muscles and concentrate on deep, even breathing. You can close your eyes if you want or leave them slightly open, gazing down at an angle. Okay, now I'm going to suggest something, and I want you to focus on the first thing that comes into your head. Try to explore it in all its details. Here it is. You are by water. Think about it. What does the scene look like, smell like, etc.? Really get into it. Now, someone approaches. Who is it? Where are they coming from? Etc. Again, really get into it. Finally, what happens next? That's it. If you want to take the time to do the next 3 steps, just pause the video. If not, you can do it later. Remember, the second step in the conscious dreaming process is to capture the scene and the images it released through activities like writing, drawing, painting, dance, and song. This really fleshes it out and creates something you can explore and re-explore over time. The third step is to identify and examine the archetypes that jump out at you. And the final step, which may be a lifelong pursuit, is to integrate aspects of the archetypes into your essential self, which is the process of individuation. Hopefully, you can already see the profound implications of an exercise like this, but let me bring it to life a little by expounding on one participant's reaction. This attendee was a woman in her late 50s or early 60s. The water she imagined was a lake that she and her husband had boated on for years. The person who approached her was her husband. What happened next was he told her that she should drive the boat that day. This created a state of high agitation for her because in all the years they had been boating, she had never driven the boat or even had a conscious desire to drive the boat. But now here she was, later in life, being challenged to take the wheel and drive the damn thing herself. This led to some fascinating conversation with the other participants of the workshop, especially around the archetype of pilot, wondering what it would look like to integrate some of the aspects of that motif into her life. This opened up a potential for some major growth for her. She left the workshop a little discombobulated, but hopeful. Conscious dreaming is designed to tap into images and motifs that have something to teach us. I've practiced it myself, and the experience triggered a life-changing narrative that went on for 80 type pages, and I'm still learning from it a decade later. Conscious dreaming is a great exercise to use if you're ever feeling stuck, either in an uninspired moment or in undesired behavior. We'll see you next time.